Good evening, and welcome to Neutral News, the program that observes the unfolding tapestry of human existence and gives it a polite, non-committal nod. Tonight we tackle a phenomenon of immense societal significance, a silent crisis unfolding in our living rooms, on our public transport, and across the vast, terrifying expanse of the Internet. We are speaking, of course, of the Gen Z stare, a look so potent, so utterly devoid of discernible emotion, that it has left older generations wondering if they have committed a catastrophic social faux pas, or if the youth have simply finished buffering. To help us unpack this optical enigma, we go to our correspondent, Susan. Susan.
The phenomenon, colloquially known as the Gen Z stare, is a complex non-verbal communication tool characterized by a neutral to downward-turned mouth, eyes fixed forward with minimal blinking, and an aura of profound, almost cosmic indifference. It is, in essence, the facial expression of a person watching a 3-hour documentary about cement, but deployed in everyday social situations.
A cosmic indifference. It sounds exhausting. Let's start at the beginning. Can we trace the lineage of this facial vacuum? Surely it didn't just spring forth, fully formed from a vat of oat milk.
Indeed not, Neil. Our archival research department, which we normally reserve for analyzing grainy footage of minor royals opening libraries, has traced its origins to precursors in late 19th century popular culture. The most direct ancestor is the trope known as the perpetually unimpressed face, a default expression of severe neutrality frequently observed on characters in 90s sitcoms. It was a look that conveyed a general sense of being thoroughly unmoved by one's surroundings. Think of it as the beta version. It had the basic architecture of disapproval, but lacked the existential weight of the modern stare.
So it's evolved like a Pokemon, but with more ennui and less cheerful shouting of its own name. It went from a simple, analog, I am not enjoying this conversation, to a high-definition, 4K resolution, I am questioning the very molecules that constitute your being. Is that a fair assessment?
That is a commendably neutral and accurate summary, Neil. The 90s version was a shield. The modern stare is a diagnostic tool. The person deploying it is not just defending themselves from unwanted social interaction, they are actively scanning you for data, which our analysis suggests is almost always categorized under disappointing.
Fascinating. And this evolution, I presume it wasn't a natural process. It needed a catalyst, an amplifier.
Correct, Neil. The primary accelerant was the rise of algorithm-driven social media platforms, specifically TikTok and Instagram. These platforms function as digital petri dishes for cultural trends. A single user deploying the stare in a short video could be seen by millions within hours. The stare's inherent ambiguity made it perfect content. Viewers were captivated, trying to decode its meaning, and in doing so, they propagated it. It's a communicable condition, Neil, but instead of a cough or a sneeze, the vector is a 15-second video of someone looking blankly at a slice of avocado toast.
It sounds like a form of social contagion for which there is no known vaccine. You mentioned decoding. Has the language of the stare itself evolved? Is it a single, monolithic glare, or are there dialects, subtleties?
The visual language is remarkably nuanced. The initial form was the deadpan stare, a direct, unblinking gaze conveying a sort of flat line of the soul. This has since diversified. We now have the playful side eye, which is the stare's more agile cousin. It's a swift lateral glance that says, I see what you're doing, and it is, on a scale of 1 to 10, a cringe.
A cringe? A devastating verdict. So the side eye is a sort of surgical strike, whereas the full deadpan stare is more of a scorched earth carpet bombing approach to social disapproval.
Precisely. The side eye is deployed in response to a specific observable offense, such as using the wrong emoji or referring to a musical artist as your MP3s. The deadpan stare is more atmospheric. It can be a response to something as vast and intangible as late-stage capitalism, or as minor as a poorly executed parallel park. The ambiguity is key.
It's a masterpiece of efficiency. Why waste breath explaining that the generational wealth gap and the climate crisis have instilled in you a deep-seated nihilism, when you can just stare? It seems the only logical solution is for the government to establish a new department, the Office for Facial Interpretation. They could issue charts like those used for birdwatching to help one differentiate between mild disapproval and contemplating the heat death of the universe.
That is a satirical solution, Neil, but it highlights the core issue. The stare is often a response to a perceived problem that older generations do not recognize as a problem. It's a form of juxtaposition. The user is presenting a serene, blank canvas and forcing the viewer to project their own anxieties onto it. It's like a Rorschach test, but one where every possible answer is, you have failed.
It's all starting to make a terrible sort of sense. You see your electricity bill, you see the price of a studio flat in London, you see a politician talking about the Blitz spirit, and the facial muscles just give up. It's the face of someone who has been asked to merge two friend groups at a party, seen the inevitable awkwardness, and has simply chosen to opt out of existence for a few moments.
That is a grounded and relatable observation, Neil. The stare is the equivalent of turning oneself off and on again in hopes that the world will have been fixed upon reboot. Our data suggests this has 0% success rate, but remains the go-to strategy.
So, to summarize for viewers who may have just zoned out, a generation faced with a world of bewildering complexity has developed a silent, passive, and deeply unnerving facial expression as its primary tool of communication. This stare, born from 90s sitcoms and weaponized by social media, can mean anything from "that's a terrible shirt" to "my soul is an arid desert." Is that about the size of it?
It is a brutally accurate and commendably neutral summary of the situation, Neil.
Thank you, Susan. So, the next time you find yourself the subject of such a gaze, remember, do not panic. Simply stand still, avoid any sudden movements or opinions, and wait for the user to finish their internal monologue. They may be judging you, or they may simply be remembering a meme they saw 2 days ago. In the face of such ambiguity, one can only remain neutral. The eyes have it. Good night.